The major storylines heading into the fourth race at California is that Stephen Volk is done for the 2012 season after a severe crash at Las Vegas. It is unknown who will take over the ride, although all signs will point that Blake Camphausen will most likely take over that ride. Although the 29 was entered in the qualifying race, however, it was driven by Blake Foster. The main race, despite that most of the Cup race was here, the main racing weekend was held at the 1.522 mile speedway in McKinley, Texas. The first race saw Justin Neyman passing the number 01 of Mark Lenson on the final lap to win his first career in NOVAR GameStop Truck Series event, which that race had 81 lead changes for 38 leaders, even though that race had no yellow flags, although there was a pit road incident that happened on lap 57, where Wendy Fisher was forced to retire that one. And then meanwhile, in the NOVAR Gatorade Series event, which also raced here at Austin, had the inaugural running, Ryan Fairchild outran Kyle Eichson to score his, I believe it is, first career NOVAR Gatorade Series win. That race was less competitive, although it had 5 cautions for 20 laps. It was less competitive with 48 lead changes with 18 leaders. And now I'm going to head it over to Kendall Johnson for the race recap. Your half-flag pole, where we go to car number 33 at Cameron Brooks. Cameron Brooks, who had the past 2 races, he has finished first and second in the past 2 events. He will lead the field now with Brandon Green in car number 30 on his outside, Logan Chin in third, and the 4th spot is Gordon Billard. As they enter into turn 1, they're going to go 3 wide already, and actually go 4 wide already, as they're coming off of turn 2. Logan Chin, car number 72, will get to the lead with Gordon Billard following right behind. As here comes the 72 Logan Chin, he will get pushed into the lead by the number 91 of Gordon Billard. However, Gordon Billard moves the 72 up the racetrack, and looks like car number 91 will get to lead the first lap of the race. Although Brian Kittleson comes to our track, and then Shane Harden moves down. The points leader going into this weekend has finished all 3 events. Now here, with the first caution happening right behind them, Jared Welber gets into the back of Scott Johnson and Alan Kimmel. They get sideways. 58 continues on, while the 88 goes backwards. Here's from Alan Kimmel's perspective. He gets hit from the 58 and then spins completely backwards. Scott Johnson's had a lot of problems this year, and that's why he's way down in points. Along with Corey Von Delga. Here is from Luke Warren's perspective. Carson Brooks got turned by the number 35 Tony Wider. Corey Von Delga, Luke Warren, and Jesse Donahue were also collected in that one. There was an incident coming after the checker flag where Mike Hogan turns the 90 of Brian Wilson. The 90 will get slight damage, and also in this one was Shane Harden, the points leader, as the 90 will turn it back around. However, there was no damage. However, only minimum damage was done. Most of the cars pitted on that caution, and the top 4 did not stand out, as car number 71, Akano Zuki, led on this restart. Zuki failed to qualify for the first 2 events, and then did extremely well at Las Vegas, and today is no different, running extremely well here today. These performances could lock the 71 in to the points for the first time in the team's history. And I'm specifically referring about the 71, since the 7 is already locked in. Logan Chin goes for the race lead with Brian Dawson, who comes in here 4th in points. And then you see Gordon Billard, car number 91. He gets to the lead of this one. He will get and make a pass for the lead. And then you see on the inside of the 91, you see the 09 of Ike Jace Jr. Ike Jace Jr. is off to a really good start. He wasn't there for Dentsville. He ran pretty well at Dentsville and dominated Atlantic City and ran up front for some portion of the Las Vegas event before being involved in some incidents. Damon Scott in the 18 is pretty much in a similar position, ran extremely well at Dentsville. There's Chadwick Blake entering the pits. When I was saying Damon Scott was in a similar situation to IJ Jr., he has run pretty well. However, has been involved in accidents in the past 2 events, and hopefully he's on the verge of falling out of the top 3 in points. So if he's involved in another wreck that forces him to retire, look for him to qualify for next week's event. There you see Scott Harper in the 6, who locked himself in after a tiebreaker that occurred in the Las Vegas qualifying event that prevented him from racing his way in. And Mark McGill was also in that same tiebreaker as well. And crash behind them! We got Mark Mongillo. Oh, wait, let me see. That's Dan Scott And we have a big crash behind them. Mac Hamlin, Nick Dunnigan, Brian Wilson, Aaron Fisher, Luke Warren, I believe, was in there. David Payton in the 24. Scott Johnson gets wrecked from behind. Carter Pappas in the 4, making his first start of the year. Shane Harden's collected, and then here's from another angle. This is from, looks like contact between the 72 and 18. Started that one. McDowell sideways. And then Dunnigan gets involved, and the 72 gets on top of the 27 and stays there as we got more wrecking behind it. Harden slows down, and Sheer Hencedo in the 97 is collected as well. So let's go on board with Shane Harden in the 59. He was actually involved in this wreck, and there you see from the telemetry, Harden was actually trying to slow down. However, he had tried to get down to the inside, but it was just too late. So it was not because of stupidity, it was just because he couldn't slow down and react in time. Car 59 going into this weekend was the points leader, leading by 12, I believe, leading by 3, and now he will go out of the race, so that means the points lead will change following after this race. Brandon Green staying on the track. He has damage, so he will be really slow. And that's why Sean McDowell, who was also involved in that crash, he will also have easy maneuverability around the 530 of Brandon Green. Chadler Blake, who is sponsoring Zaxby's for this event, he is stuck on the outside right behind the 30 of Brandon Green. There you see Scott Harper in the 6. Looks like he'll go 3 wide. And here he comes, the 6 of Scott Harper, who ran extremely well in 2011, subbing in for the suspended Blake Foster. Is doing the justice that he showed in 2011, now doing it in 2012, but Brian Dawson will spoil Scott Harper's party as he will get into turn 3, and car number 64 of Brian Dawson will get to lead as the pack will fade back as your Blake Tagliano, who won at Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, he is up there. And then Daniel Salomon, in the 99. Is also coming. He's right behind the 50. Now he makes a move under the 50. Crash behind the McDowell's around again. Chandler Kanazuki, Brian Kittleson, Shay Clark III. The 98 in 6. They're also collected. Heavy damage for the 6. And near context, people are almost sideswiping the 30. The 99 will continue on going. However, here's from another angle. There you see the 07 that McDowell gets turned around. I can't tell where the contact went, but I believe it was between the 01 and 71. 07 and 71. And there you see several cars going through, trying to commit suicide. But Damon Scott was not lucky. He comes down, gets hit from Keith Hales, and slides violently. And so does Jesse Donahue. Donahue would slide and be about a car length short of the wall, as both of them will go out of the race. Brian Dawson in the 64 will lead on this restart with Chadler Blake in 2nd, Daniel Salomon in 3rd, Michael Scott in 4th, and Gordon Billard in 5th. Michael Scott has had a rough start to the 2012 season, crashing out in pretty much almost every event except for Atlantic City, which I believe he finished 11th in that race. Scott trying to show the justice that he could do. Right now he is towards the back and not locked into the race. However, he is eligible for the past Champions Provisional due to his 2008 title. The other championship contender, that's the other driver that's also not locked in, is the number 53 of Brian Kittleson. As you see, Salomon will get to 2nd right there. However, you see the caution flag come out, and we're going to show you why the caution came out in a moment. They're going to all form back up, and here's why the caution came out. Blake Tagliano gets to the back of the 35 and the 53. And the 53 gets over, and he does one barrel roll and slides down the backstretch, almost does 2, and now he'll end up doing a 2nd one right there. So a wild ride for the 53. Let's take another angle. Contact between the 50 and 35, and that sends the 53 sliding up the racetrack, and the 53 goes over. The 53 then does a series of barrel. He slides up, and then just slides, and it just rolls over onto his wheels. Car 53 was done. Daniel Salomon was leading on this restart with Michael Scott 2nd. I think that is Gordon Billard 3rd, Walter Green 4th, and Chadler Blake 5th. Walter Green was your defending race winner here at California, and he's had a really strong car for tonight. The crew of Walter Green Racing, they actually prepped it to the way it was last year. where Walter Green, I believe, led only about 2 laps and passed on Ike J. Jr. on the final lap. And that's how he got the win. There you see Gordon Miller going on to the 12, Michael Scott right there for the second spot. Here he comes to the inside. Billard gets to the inside run, and car number 91 will get to the lead. We'll get to at least second right there. Daniel Salomon is in right there. There you see James Wilson Jr. also up there. We haven't talked about him all day. And then we also see Jared Webler also with that group. Dave Payton and Evan Brooks are also among that ride in the back of the pack. We haven't talked about Webler for a couple of races. He's run pretty decently in those events. Right now sitting 11th in points. There you see Cameron, and then Cameron Brooks, who has been the hotshot driver as of late. He will get to the lead with Walter Green, who's been the defending winner of this event. He will make it go 3 wide, and they're going to head it out for the lead. Car 33 will get help from the 12. However, he looks like 33 will get a run and shut the door on the 39. However, we have our next caution happen. Evan Brooks and Eddie Johns get turned around, and the 12 of Michael Scott's also collected. Right there. The car that received the most damage in this one would be the 12, as there you're going to see several cars are blowing right by, almost slamming into the back. They're not even having an effort to try to put the brakes on. However, only the 12 was minorly damaged. The 56 on Mark Mongilla was your race leader, with Gordon Billard in second, and third place was the Daniel Salomon, and then fourth is Jared Webler. A huge traffic jam would happen behind them for the lap traffic, and that's most notable for the 75. You see a bigger traffic jam behind the 75, although you see the first 2 break away from everybody. There you see Daniel Salomon and Jared Webler are creeping into the picture, as they're going to be entering turn number 3, and car number 56 will get to the lead of this one, with Gordon Billard second, and also third place being Daniel Salomon. We would have a pretty long green flag run, although we had a little bit of an incident that happened. Mark Mongillo and James Wilson Jr., they make contact, and the 11 gets on his side, and to make it even worse, there's no yellow, because you see some fluid dropping on the racetrack. Car 11 would continue on going, and I believe he would finish the race. As controversy emerges after that, and that should have been a yellow flag, even though car 11 didn't exactly turn over in that one. However, we go a bit longer, and we would have our green flag stops on lap number 58. It would happen from lap 58 through 64. Here we're going to see some notable stops. There you see Gordon Billard entering the pits right there, and then we have Chandler Blake right there. They would all change up, and Sean McDowell's also entering as well. Let's see, we got more coming in. That's Toshiro Hensedo. However, as a result of this pit road shuffling, only 2 cars would actually be in this position to lead. It's Alan Kimmel in the 88. Kimmel, I believe, pitted under that last caution. And he is the first of only 2 drivers to not pit through this cycle, and the other one was Scott Harper in the 6. And you're going to see an example why I'm telling you these 2 did not pit. You're going to see the 55 of Eddie John's already pitted, I believe, about 3 laps after this happened. And watch how he blows by the 6, and Eddie John's going goodbye, as the 55 just blows right by the 6. However, both of them would eventually pit, as there was a caution due to debris. Walter Green, Evan Brooks, and Cameron Brooks, were all leading on this restart. Were the 3 main drivers leading that one, with most of the leading done by Walter Green and Cameron Brooks. Evan Brooks only led 1 lap through that entire cycle. Walter Green in the 39 gets a good cushion over Evan Brooks and Cameron Brooks, as he gets a comfortable lead with Sean McDowell. McDowell's a lap down in that one, as they get a pretty good cap. However, both of the Brookses will be taken out in this crash. Evan Brooks and Cameron Brooks, they make contact. The 33 gets turned on. The 12 is collected as well. And the 12, that looked like a big hit on the 33, and that may slow the 12 down for the rest of the event. However, the 12 will continue on. Daniel Salomon is your race leader. Top 3 break away, as they couldn't pass the 75 on the inside. As Shane Clark III is in second. Right there. It's actually in fourth, excuse me. Gordon Billard's your race leader. And problems, I think there is problems with Daniel Salomon, or if he's just falling back and just gonna watch all the action unfold. Right there, as you can see, the 55 is going to go by. Johns was your Dentonville 250 winner. Now, here he comes out of turn 4. However, there was a crash behind him, and that will pretty much set up a 3-lap shootout. Carson Brooks slows down and gets into the 33. Cameron Brooks, the 75 gets onto the wall, and the 11 gets collected as well. However, there was another crash that happened right behind them. Logan Chin, while trying to avoid this crash, will get onto the inside and hit the 7 of Mike Hogan, and the 72 would hit the outside wall hard as 72 was done. The 75 and 72 were done as 75 was one of the slowest cars on the track. Gordon Billard would lead this restart. It would be a 3-lap shootout. If the caution came out between these three laps, they would race back to the caution, and that will be the race for the finish. Eddie Johns won in a similar format, however, there was a crash with 2 to go, and that pretty much ended the race there. Here comes Shane Clark III. And all problems, Daniel Selma, he's out of gas! So car number 91 is out of gas, as car number 91 and 55. I meant car number 99, excuse me. 91 is still in the lead. Eddie Johns and Gordon Billard, these two, they got a pair of wins in 2011. Can Billard get his first win of the year, or will Eddie Johns already get a pair of wins? There you see car number 98 is Shane Clark III. He is also up there, attracting his first career win. Clark's had a rough start to the 2012 season. Not where he wanted to be, but this race, if he can finish very well, this will improve his positioning in the points. And here they come, coming out of turn 4 for the white flag. The white flag will be shown for Gordon Billard, as here comes Eddie Johns to the inside. And it looks like Billard is out of gas. Billard staying run short, just 1 lap short. Eddie Johns is also up there. And Shane Clark III may have also been out as well. So it looks like car number 39, looks like Eddie Johns has 1 more lap to do a dual win. Looks like Johns is out as well. Walter Green gets to the inside. Does David Pate can get there? And it looks like both of them are out of gas. So 55 and 39 are out of gas. But coming out of 4, Walter Green will get his 2nd win at California and his first win of the season. John 2nd, Peyton 3rd, Michael Scott 4th, and your top 5 was, I believe, I don't know who. But there was a crash coming after the checker flag. Shane Clark III runs to the pit wall, and then the huge hits by the 6 and 64. So a big crash after the checkered flag, as that was because of stupidity. There's Brian Dawson had nowhere to go, gets to the front of the 56. All of them climb out, as Mark Magillo finished 5th, actually 7th, I believe, in the race. And he gets drilled by the 64 and 6, but Walter Green wins his 2nd race of this California career.